All right, we're going live now.
Good morning. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, family. For those who honor and celebrate it, just acknowledging this holiday and the gathering of families. I am not a celebrator of Thanksgiving, but I do acknowledge the value and the power of being with your loved ones. So I wish you the best as you engage in food and fellowship, and also as you embark on building out and prayerfully after this session with intention, your family legacy, or the combination of amplifying your individual legacy as well as your family legacy. And we'll unpack that more as we move into the deeper parts of this session. So I am coach, healer, Shawnee Benton Gibson. I am also the CEO of Spirit of a Woman Leadership Development Institute and the founder and executive producer of the Wake Up Everybody virtual community. Today is 465. And someone do the math for me, like if any folks who are into numerology like me can narrow that down or synthesize it so it's one digit. We'll see what that lands on and what that means. But today's session is being a living legacy. And this is a two-part series, and today is part two. So Monday, I was with the community members that were present in that conversation, and we had a glorious time unpacking it. I learned a lot. I pray that those who were participating learned a lot. The chat was lit, and so was the Facebook thread. So it appears that folks got a lot out of it, and let's see where the conversation takes us today. So I'm inviting you, if you're in the space, to invite others who are normally in the space co-creating with us, and then also invite new people into the space. A lot of folks are home from work and they are free. Maybe they're not the chef for the family, and so they have free time. Maybe they want to get extra sleep, but whatever the circumstances, please do join me in inviting people.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
When I think about the opening song that my daughter Jasmine created for the Wake Up Everybody community, I think about legacy as well. What we're building together, is just nothing short of phenomenal as the Wake Up Everybody village and community. And so if you are just joining this morning, my name is Coach, Healer, Shawnee Benton Gibson, Shawnee Renee Trellis Benton Gibson. As part of my legacy building, I am claiming the name of my great-great-grandmother Trellis, who was a midwife and an herbalist and who caught babies in Atlanta, Georgia, and made way for new life to come into the world. So that's part of my family legacy, and I am grateful. And as I claim her name, I amplify the power that I carry as a midwife in a different way. So I support the birthing of ideas and the birthing of people's purposes, particularly women. And I'm just so grateful to be able to do that. So today's conversation is about being a living legacy. And this is the second part of the conversation. On Monday, I had the privilege and the pleasure of being with all of you who were in the space to co-create. So if you were in the space on Monday, please just acknowledge by putting a yes in the chat, so I know who was with us and what we're working with in reference to rolling stuff back. And thank you for the compliment, Catherine. Yeah, I feel like I look cute. I look cute. I got my little web thing going on. I'm ready to do some things up in here. So if you were with us, thank you. Amal was with us. Z was with us. I'm so grateful for the just a powerful, robust conversation. Teresa, yes, always with us. Facebook participation by Cheryl. Yeah, oh my goodness. So I'm so grateful for the fact that I have a community that shows up. And Yogisha Stacy, you watched 80% of the playback. Oh my goodness, I love it, I love it, I love it. So you 80% ready, and we're gonna get you at 150% once we unpack this today. So acknowledging everyone who is a celebrator of Thanksgiving. I don't honor that holiday. However, I do honor that my family has a tradition and we're building a legacy of gathering together, eating good food and fellowshipping, taking pictures. We're all going to wear green today. So I'm not in my family garb yet, but I will be changing in preparations for being with my paternal side of the family, which we're always together on Thanksgiving, unless something happens. And for the last like 10 years or so, it's been kind of smooth. So what we're going to do is go back and revisit some of the things that we talked about on Monday so we can reset the conversation and continue to build and scaffold. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. My Facebookers, sending you love and kisses. Please do light that chat up. Please give us work in the form of cutting and pasting and putting your messages in the chat so that we can experience the fullness of this community. If there is somebody that you know belongs in this conversation, whether they are part of the WU community and tribe or not, please invite them. People are home today. They may be up today. They can be making their stuffing and putting their turkey in or making cranberry sauce, whatever folks do, and also tune in, like use their phone device and they can listen and watch while they make their food and prepare or decorate their homes. We can do this. We can multitask in a powerful way because this conversation is worth it. So invite them on in, please, please, your cousins, your aunties, your besties, because folks may have availability today. And mom's 78th birthday. Yes, Louise, kiss her forehead for me, please. Kiss her forehead. Love that. 78. How juicy. Who landed on the number for day 465 for me? Like, what's the number whittled down to one single digit? Anybody do that work so we know what we're working with? And I invite you to do the additional work to say what the number means and what we get to do and be inside of that energy, whatever that number is for today. So we are going to define again legacy and what that means. Oh, you got it? You got it?
What answer?
Yes, I do. I'm waiting for people to do the work and then we can come back. So yes, I do want the answer.
We've been had it.
Oh,
I didn't want it.
All right. Go ahead, hon.
It's 6.
6. All right. So did y'all do the work of declaring what 6 energy means? Let me know. I'll follow. I see you like looking like it's not quite done, Kinyofu. So come on back. Let me know. And I'm going in this direction. That was not the plan for today, but that's what came out of me. Y'all know how I do. So let's define legacy. So let's drop in 5 words or less. Oh, no, not yet. Kinyofu. I'm waiting for the community to do it first. So let's define legacy. I love that my admin team are on it. Thank y'all for inviting folks into the space, folks who haven't been here in a while. So legacy, drop 5 words or less. What is legacy, family? What is legacy? So we're going to give you a little bit of time. I see, and then Facebookers, y'all be on it too, please. So while you do that, I'm going to share what was shared by the Wu team. In numerology, the number 6 is believed to be a word for perfection and completion. Love it, because the world was also created in 6 days. This number represents the planet Venus, and people who have this number in their names are said to be trustful, dependable, romanticist, hedonistic, and charming in their essence. All right. So one of the things that I love about this is we're talking about legacy on a day where 6 is being energized, and we're talking about perfection and completion. Your legacy, your manifestations as a legacy creator and as a living legacy creates perfection, not as the world defines it, like you do no wrong, but all is perfect in what you were divinely orchestrated to do as a member of this living and breathing and co-creative community, not the wake up community, that's part of it, but the world community, the universal community. And then also completion. You are whole, perfect, and complete wherever you are in your legacy journey, whether it's by default or by design, it's all perfect. There are all lessons in it. So I'm grateful for 6 coming up and tapping me on the shoulder. Perfection and completion. I love it. I love it. And some of you legacy makers that have 6 inside of the energy of your birth and your name are trustful, dependable, romanticist, hedonistic, and charming in your essence. And so when I think about building legacy, and I'll say more about this later, there are core values that you must have as a foundation that carry you forward and allow you to build out and manifest your legacy every day. So I'm grateful for that. I'm also going to invite y'all to bring the numbers up in this space. We're at 35. Let's see if we can hit 40 in the next few minutes and see where that takes us once we arrive there. So keep inviting, please, please, please. All right, so let's hear what's in the chat.
Okay, I got your definitions for you. So Gina says legacy is what you leave behind. Adam says building something bigger than yourself. Elaine, CW Elaine says what we are known for. Zakia says what we are remembered for. K Sweetness says a positive intentional theory left behind for others. Louise says leaving something behind unique to us. And Martine says the energy you build, the residual energy you leave behind when you move on from this realm, and the impact you made in your world. And Abimbola says what you're known for in your lifetime. And Teresa says a value that honors the awesomeness of your family. Imani says legacy remains of a lifetime. Tracy Ann says the history, memories, creation, love, and basis of what that you leave behind. And Veronica says the act of keeping our ancestors alive through memory and material worth.
All right. Now we got some hard heads in here. I said 5 words or less, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Thank you, Coach Cheryl, for that awesome offering and the resonance in your voice. I want to see what we can add to all of the phenomenal shares that were offered up this morning in reference to legacy. I love this community, the great minds and hearts and spirits, and I love how brilliant we are and our collective brilliance. There are no words for it. We're building a legacy in the Wake Up Everybody community as we show up every day, or those who don't, but are part of the extended community who think highly of the experience and recognize the value and the worth of this community and what we generate. So let's see what the slides say about legacy. Once again, foundation building for those who weren't here, and reset for those who were here last Monday when I did part 1. So I need readers, and we are at, what does that number say, 35. So come on, y'all, let's see how we can get to 40. And for me, it's about generating more juicy, generative conversation. It's not about, there we go with Laura. So we had 36. So come on, let's keep bringing it. So legacy, I need readers. I would love for Laura Clark. Oh, she just arrived. So let me back off her. I would love to identify. Thank you, Carmen. You can read the first legacy share. And if you can raise your hand if you're willing to read from me, normally I'll just select you so we can get the other readers on deck. Thank you. So who's the other person? Abimbola. Yes, thank you. All right, we need 2 more. So raise your digital hand if you would. All right, and then Imani, thank you, and then Z. All right, let's do this. Come on, Carmen.
Yes, yes. I'm so glad that I'm off today. Good morning, everybody.
Amen.
All right. So what is a legacy? A legacy is something that is passed on to you from family, including a reputation. It is passed from one generation to the next and often refers to gifts of money or property.
Thank you so much.
A personal legacy is the footprint that each of us leaves on the world. Leaving a personal legacy involves more than the financial assets you bestow on the younger generation.
Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate it. Who's next?
Imani,
Thank you.
Imani,
Can you hear me?
yes.
A family legacy encompasses the values and passions that fuel your family. It is perpetuated through family stories, your family's belief about wealth, and how you live out your family values on a daily basis.
Thank you. Awesome. And the
Z?
final. Mhm.
An emotional legacy is the passing of our deeply rooted and cherished values that we would like to bestow to the next generation. An emotional legacy is conceptualized and modeled during a lifetime, and its remnants are left for others to emulate and duplicate.
All righty. Thank you so much for the share. The other day we were talking about just some of the family legacy that has been generated by design or by default by the families, your clan, where you come from. You know, I was interacting with someone the other day who was sharing about the fact that they really don't have a lot of extended family. And so when we were sharing about the ancestors, I was doing a ceremony and a ritual. The person had no one to call on, or that was their posture, their belief that they didn't. Some of us are engaged in default living by virtue of the clans that we come from. We're activating and energizing old paradigms and ways of being that don't serve. And I want to acknowledge that we're at 40, or maybe not. We're almost there, family. Yes, we are. We're at 40 as far as participants. Let's see if we can take it to 45. On this Thanksgiving, we can do it all. So let's see where that takes us. So some of us have been generating from core values that are low vibrational as a family, as a clan. Who is willing to declare that and own that? I know I have my own story in reference to my clan on both sides. What was becoming the legacy on both sides was patterns of addiction. On both sides of my family, my father and his siblings were addicted to drugs. And on both sides of, on my mother's side of the family, my mother and all of her siblings were as well. And one of them passed away as a result of her drug addiction. And so there was a legacy of being overpowered by that dynamic and that energy. On my mother's side of the family, there's a legacy of mental health challenges, emotional and mental health challenges. Now it's being transformed as folks do the work and as new generations come. But in my younger years, as I was growing up, I was watching the mental health stuff and the addiction ravage my family and also ravage my community, because I grew up, I was in my adolescence in the 80s. So in the 70s and the 80s. So anybody else willing to share what their family legacy is, high vibration and low vibration? You can raise your digital hand. Kay, I see your hand, but it was connected to what we were talking about before. So in this present mode, anybody willing to express what their family legacy is or has been, high vibrational and low vibrational? So can the admin support me, please?
Sorry, I'm troubleshooting something.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Are you asking
Yeah, Ma said she's able to share. Go ahead, Ma.
Yeah, it took me a minute to really think about it. Not only my mother, my brother, my two brothers, and my dad were alcoholics. That was one legacy. Jumped over me because I saw the effects of it, and I started drinking. And then I got sick, and I said, no, this is not what I want to do. But another thing, the negative side was colorism. My goodness, I have uncles, well, specifically an uncle and a cousin that passed for white, and their family is white. And my Uncle Colin he loved his sisters and he would communicate with them, but he never told his white family that he was black. So that was another part of it. And the fallout of my grandmother having so many children, she would leave the oldest children with the older sisters and then move somewhere. And my mother's take on that was she was being abandoned, and that she was loved in the family. So yeah, that's the negative. Wow, and I can't think of a whole lot of positives. So
well, stay with us because you're part of the clan. So if it's you reversing or breaking cycles and creating a new paradigm for the family. I hear you often talk about your daughter and not allowing the paradigm of disconnect to maintain by living and cohabitating with one another, and then also shifting your lens that you look at her through. So you're already creating a new legacy and a new pathway for your family by altering that. So what else is there for you, Mama Mala, as you listen to me and as you think and intuit about it?
So yeah, okay. You know, sometimes when you're right close up on it, you don't see it. So I appreciate you mirroring that back to me. Yeah. Yeah, and the closeness with my two daughters, actually, and trying to build and building a wealth legacy.
Got that. Awesome. Yes, look at you. And I would venture to say that was in the stars, the cards already, but y'all got steered off course, right? So now you're course correcting as far as the family legacy. When I think about what has happened to those who identify as Black, Indigenous people of color in this space, you know, and what has happened to us historically and being enslaved, not being slaves, but being enslaved. And then the impact of white supremacy culture, that some of the things that we are right by birth, our birthright, have been snatched from us because of the being ravaged as a people, you know, stripped of our culture, stripped of our identity. And so we're all, those who choose, are on a path of course correction. So I thank you for just speaking about creating generational or intergenerational wealth for your family and your clan. So thank you for being the first sharer. I love you so much. I appreciate you. All right, so we have another hand up. I don't want to mispronounce your name. So Dr. Kennebrew, is that correct? Dr. K, you have your hand up? There you go. You have to unmute though. Are you unmuted? No. Oh, you're having a hard time. All right, as Dr. There we go. Okay.
All right, I'm sorry. Good morning, everyone. The high vibrational, I was thinking about on my father's side, a history of entrepreneurship, wealth building. My grandfather was able to amass a considerable amount of land in Georgia. There were 12 children. He made sure that each of them had, you know, a substantial amount of acreage. And so that was sort of high vibrational on my father's side. And the low vibrational, and let me say the manifestation of what was going on in terms of inability to conform to norms with respect to monogamy and those kinds of things. On my mother's side, the legacy of the same things, very industrial, spiritual. You know, some people, as I look back, I think my mother was kind of, you know, what would be considered a hoodoo woman.
Wow.
Very intelligent, very spiritual. Passed that on as well. But my mother struggled with alcoholism. And I think, you know, in retrospect, just doing my own work, that part of this, her legacy as a healer, being there for the community, in order to process some of those things, led to the alcoholism.
Got that. Thank you for saying that.
You
Thank
know, that's something that I am also working through. You know, I had to make decisions with respect to alcohol. My daughter, when she was able to drink, you know, I had to share some things with her because she had shared some things with me about what happened when she drank. And so we had to decide that that probably wasn't the best path to go. So those are the things, and just the awareness, but also understanding now how healing comes with being a healer comes with a responsibility. And we have to be aware of all of those things. So that was it for me. Thank you.
That's big. Stay with me, Doc, if you would. Can you pronounce your full name? Because I want to make sure I'm sharing it.
Olufemi is my first name.
Olufemi.
Olufemi. And I'm sorry, this is my another Zoom account that I use for work.
Okay. Olufemi. Very beautiful. What does it mean?
God loves me.
Yeah. And inside of that name, when you took it on, is it your name by birth? I heard you say Pamela, I think, too.
Yeah, Pamela is my birth name.
Got it. And Olufemi, say the meaning again.
God loves me.
Yes. And so thinking about that as a foundational piece for your legacy building, like by design, because when you take a name, like you're given a name, that's one thing. But when you take a name, you're declaring that this is what your stand is. And, you know, being affirmed like that, you get to build from that powerful, powerful space. And what a beautiful thing that is. And so what I want to say to you is something that's part of my family legacy, and me being accountable, you know, for this. And you reminded me that myself, my sister, my aunt, my family on my mother's side are highly intuitive. And part of the reason I believe that some of the addictive pieces happened in the family was because their spiritual gifts, their clairsentience, their clairaudience, their clairvoyance was not understood or celebrated. They weren't taught how to negotiate that. It was made wrong. And I'm being facetious right now. Unless it was a dream of a number that could be played, it's like, don't tell me about that shit, right? So,
or yeah. Whoever was pregnant. Right. So
right.
yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So there were times when it was acceptable and appropriate to speak about, you know, the visions that could be seen. And as a little kid, I was very, very in tuned, and I would speak about it. And sometimes I would get told off about it. Sometimes I would get a beating for saying certain things because I was just sharing things beyond my years. That part of the legacy from my family on my maternal side is to use those spiritual gifts to create for the future, to prevent things from happening, to support people on their healing journeys. But because that foundation wasn't set to honor that, then it's like, oh my God, I'm having these visions, I'm experiencing all this emotional content. And so I have to drink it away. I have to stuff it down. And then also when traumatic experiences occur, then because we're so highly sensitive, we take it and it leads to imploding and exploding. So what my sister and I and other members of the family are doing is owning those gifts as part of our family legacy. And we're once again course correcting and cycle breaking as a result of that. And now my children, you know, my living children and my child that passed, would honor that. We read on things all the time. We talk about what spiritual things mean. We celebrate it. We like build the muscle for it. And my grandchildren will be able to do the same. We've exposed their dad to it, and he wasn't part of that dynamic and legacy for his family. So now he's doing it too. So it's just amazing, like what one can do when you get clear about who you are and whose you are and why you're here. So thank you so much for your share and for being here. You reminded me of something very powerful about my clan that's high vibrational, was low vibrational, but it's transforming every day. So family, thank you, sis. Family, we're at 47. Let's see if we can hit 50. All right. So I know there's a lot in the chat. I want to make room for my partners in this conversation, which are the admins and all of you, to share some things that are important to share as we move deeper into the conversation. So what else is there, family?
So we had Yvonne on Facebook say her high vibrational legacy was commitment to education and higher knowledge, i.e. graduate degrees, but the low vibrational was poverty and mindset and addiction. On her father's side, and her mom's side, high vibrational was wealth and wealth and asset building. Low vibrational is family divisiveness and disconnect, which is very slowly changing now towards healthier dynamics.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, did you want the last
please
one?
do.
Okay, and then Jim said high vibrational is education was paramount due to many family members being teachers. Low vibrational was infidelity leading to multiple children outside of the marriage.
So I want to offer up, what are the implications when the high vibration meets the low vibration? When you're a family of educators, but you also have the juxtaposition of the low vibration of infidelity and dishonesty. What were the other things that were shared about the family?
Poverty mindset. And addiction.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So what are the implications for the high vibration meeting the low vibration? Addiction, infidelity, just the poverty mindset. What happens when we have that experience, that dual experience of high and low, battling it out? What was the implication for your family for the piece that was just read about the family dynamic, being educators and then having this other piece happening and swirling around at the same time? Like, what does that mean? What did it create within you? That confusion? I know for me, just having a powerfully expressive family, so gifted, and then in the background and sometimes in the foreground, taking it over, being caught up in the throes of addiction and mental health issues. My mom is brilliant. My mother was an artist. She was in a band, physically beautiful. She was skipped when she was young. She went to boarding school, just industrious, like great with her hands, can build and make anything. But her mental health and her addiction would decimate that and chip away at those natural gifts and powers that she has. My mother was also highly intuitive. And once again, being highly intuitive, but not experiencing the family honoring that and speaking about that and celebrating that, created a dueling within her around that, and then had her check out as it related to her gift of intuition and let substances and, by her own admission, distractions of relationships with men and other dynamics take her out and have her live a life that is very much not a part of her birthright. There's lessons to learn, karmic lessons, but what would the life have been if she was fully engaged in who she truly was, as opposed to a facsimile of herself? All right. And can you, I'm sorry, one sec. Can you, in just a sec, I'm going to prepare for the slide that has the ingredients for legacy building in it. So just to give you a pre-warning of that. But I know, Chantel, I think I heard your voice to share more.
Yeah, so Yvonne replied and said it causes confusion and pain secrecy. I always spoke up and was told I would talk too much and see too much. People were scared of how I reflected back their pain, especially as I struggled with my own battles, but I didn't hide it, which was the pattern.
Got it. Thank you so much for looking at that. And I see a question in the chat about the high vibrational, low vibrational be all the same energy. So on a continuum, or really circularly, you can have, like I have always been intuitive, but there was a time in my life where I turned the volume down. I was so angry and so rageful that when the messages would come through, I would stuff them down. I would call them something else, or I would intellectualize them, or I would use my intuition. And I'm just being facetious here. I don't really mean this, but I would use my intuition for evil and not good. Like pick up on how people were, because I'm a great reader of people. And then when I was younger, especially men, I would play them with that intuitive ability. So on a continuum, you have the high vibration and low vibration, and you get to choose as a legacy manifester and builder how to do that by design and do it with integrity. And once again, we'll unpack that later on in the session, but definitely we get to choose how we negotiate this space, and we get to choose whether we operate from what we've been conditioned to do and taught by our families. Because remember, there's the personal legacy, what you are born to do, but it's also connected very intimately and profoundly to the clan that you come from, and that energy as well. So blending them together is a powerful thing until it's not, So I don't know if there's additional shares. I see a hand is up. So admin, tell me where you want to go.
There are
And
additional.
Lori had her hand.
Oh, yes, I saw that earlier.
Yes. Good morning, family.
Good morning.
Yes, peace and blessings. So thank you, Shawnee, because I wrote in my journal about the duality of the high vibration and low vibration with both my caretakers and my parent. My caretakers were very wealthy, entrepreneurial people, but at the same time, they suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder and were really very extremely abusive based upon, I guess, their pain. So despite the fact that they were wealthy and great entrepreneurial people with land and different streams of income, they worked us to the bone. So I got from them this great work ethic, but then it became too much. It became overwork, stress, chronic anxiety.
Sure.
So there was like this tug and war between the high vibration and the low vibration. And also with my mom, she was this powerful spiritual healer, medicine woman. But at the same time, she suffered from, I used to call, addiction of shame and guilt. And it's just really sad, to see these powerful people doing what they're doing, but at the same time, their mental problem was just so, just overwhelming. So that's what I want to share. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that you brought up PTSD, and it's been talked about in this space before. This is something that is a big part of my work as an anti-racist. I do a lot of training, and have been in this conversation since I was 25 about post-traumatic slavery disorder. I think my mama, when she was in her session, mentioned it as well, and others in earlier days of Wake Up. And so it's extremely important for us to understand that there has been a collective legacy of dealing with the impact of enslavement, that has been projected onto us by white supremacy culture and just being subjugated and marginalized by the dominant culture. And then being left with that decimation, just being devastated by being enslaved and then just set free, so-called set free, but we really weren't free. And so if you are anywhere on that diasporic pathway, as far as where our people were dropped off, some in the Caribbean, in different parts where there were ports and ships that pulled in, then there is the remnant of that. So internalized racial inferiority and oppression and self-hate. My mama was speaking about passing, and for us, a lot of us, the closer we are as far as proximity to whiteness and white skin, the more we feel like we're valuable, the more we feel like we're beautiful, the more we feel like we count. And the farther away we are, the more we feel like we're less than. Not everybody, because we're transforming that, but that legacy of enslavement has done some major damage to us in our psyches, our mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being. And so I just want to acknowledge that, Laura, and then also our own experiences of acute and complex trauma that compounded makes us beastly in the way that we negotiate life sometimes. Or on the opposite end, it can make us extremely passive and we go along to get along. So while I'm not dismissing the abuse that you experienced, it's important to understand the context by which it occurred. And you get to choose to break the cycle, to course correct, as I shared earlier, and create a new personal and also familial legacy for you and your clan. So I know you chose that, and you choose that because you're here every day, you do all kinds of healing work. And this is what I'm led to say. I think I've said this to you before. Don't work yourself to death inside of this spiritual and energetic transformation. Some people are like, why would she say that? You can never do too much work. Some of us do work and do work and do work and do work, and we're constantly tinkering with ourselves and trying to strip away. And you have so many tools, Laura. And so there's nothing to fix or change. There's only applying what you've gotten and being what you are divinely ordained to be. And that is magnificent. I know you, I experience you, so you don't have to keep fixing for the sake of what they did, or fixing yourself because you feel like something was wrong based on you being abused or neglected or mishandled when you were growing up. You're whole, perfect, and complete as you are. So let's vibrate on the number 6, perfection and completion. So I just want to hear your voice before we move on. Laura, you got that? You there, Laura? All right,
Oh, yes. I'm working the tools. Thank you. Wake up, everybody.
Yeah. And hope you heard me. Don't work yourself into oblivion. Use what you got.
Oh, not anymore. Not anymore.
No, I don't mean physical. I hope that the community is getting what I'm saying. You can work yourself into oblivion doing healing and transformation work. Is anybody get what I'm saying? We can overcompensate and do too much in that realm too. So, I just want to put that out there. That's what Spirit's giving me in this moment for you. Teresa, you have your hand up. Thank you.
I just want to thank you for this conversation and even what you just said just now, because sometimes I'm, so hard on myself saying, I haven't done enough work, and I have done a lot of work. The thing that what I want to say is that on both of my grandparents and on my mother and my father's side, they did have a lot of wealth. I do believe that my grandmother on my grandmother's side and my mother's side, my grandma was very, very talented and very gifted, but her mother and her, they got like a lot of land stole from them by the Caucasian people in the town that they grew up in. And my grandmother, I remember my grandmother like talking to me at one time and saying that she was talking to me and someone else, that she was talking to in her mind. But it was amazing how she was able to say, I said to her, Grandma, you talking? She said, no, I'm talking to those dirty, so-and-so people who did me in. And she was able to go back and forth, and I was like, when I think about that, she was a very beautiful woman. My mother, the same way, my mother dealt with, some of the same mental health issues, but my mother was a brilliant woman. My father was too, but it seemed like from whatever happened to them from their childhood, it affected, how they handled and honored themselves. And I do see that some of that same stuff, has passed on to our generation, but I'm determined, to operate in a different place of love and loving on myself and looking at, like encouraging my family to deal with the mental health issues and the different addictions and stuff that we have suffered from, and not use that as a source. But one of the things that I do notice that there has been a lot of anger in our family and a lot of, physical abuse.
Mhm.
And so that's the thing that, I'm encouraging my family, to sit down and talk about it with you. It's like, why are you so mad? Like I was talking to my son today and I was like, that anger could do so much damage to you. I know that the anger caused me to overeat because when I was younger, I saw things, and I know that it was nothing. I realize now that it was nothing that I had, that someone, had taught me, but I knew a lot of things. And so what I did was that when I would say it to people, they told me to be quiet, I didn't know what I was talking about. So I actually shut down and I just stopped talking. And so, that's one of the things that I'm coming out of, just being comfortable with who I am and not allowing anyone to shut me down, but still also knowing the time when to be quiet and,
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
that.
So just wanting to pause you for a second and go back to something that you shared about anger. And I know that there are others in this space that can relate to the legacy that anger as the foundational piece, or rage as the foundational piece, can create. And it shows up in different ways. You can eat angrily, like you said, just taking in food and I'm stuffing it down. It's a form of punishment of self. And it also can be a way of insulating yourself and isolating yourself so that folks can't get close. It's like I build a buffer around my body, around myself, and a barrier so that folks can't get in close and personal with me. And so it's so important to do that work. And, just thinking about the family legacy of anger and rage, I can relate to that. I grew up in a household where violence was a way to negotiate upset and conflict. And, it wasn't until a few years ago, and I've been in this work a long time, that I realized that I would never allow myself to say that I was scared. Because in my family growing up, if you operated like you were shook or scared, you would get fucked up. Just straight talk. Like, it was a way for folks to go in deeper and harder with the abuse. And I grew up with my uncles and aunts. My grandparents raised me, and there was a lot of violence. And, I won't say who, my sister probably knows, but one of them was just so violent. It's like they would black out when they would be violent and, be throwing knives and, just doing all kinds of stuff. And I did not own that I grew up in an environment where there was domestic violence. I didn't acknowledge that because I was thinking mother, father, my grandparents didn't physically fight one another. But their children and, who were my aunts and uncles, very close in age, there was a lot of negotiation or lack of negotiation of space where upset would occur and these eruptions would happen. And sometimes they wouldn't even be upset, but because anger and rage were at the foundation, there would just be violent acting out for no reason. No beef, no conflict, just come and slap somebody or just break something, and it was very scary growing up like that. And like I said, I was in my late 40s when I acknowledged that I was scared, and that I had every right to be so, because it was very traumatic growing up in an environment where I didn't know if today was going to be a day where I had to throw down with family. It just was an unsafe, hostile environment. So thank you for your share, Teresa. I appreciate it so much. Admin, I see another hand by Danette. But before we go there, I want to put up the slide because I want to talk about the ingredients. I'm seeing that it's 7:49. We're 11 minutes to 8. I'm also so grateful that we have 56 people in the space. Hey, let's go to 60. Let's see where it takes us. All right. The main ingredients for legacy, and Danette, we'll come back to you. I don't know if it will tie into what it is that I'm going to say about this. So the people, the places, the things that make up your legacy by design or by default. So when you think about the people, like if I go back, like on Monday, we were talking about if someone came into the space where you live 100 years from now, right? Or they dug up the remains if it was in rubble and they got into your bedroom, or they came into your living room, or they came into your storage closet or your junk drawer, and they looked through it, they rummaged through it, and they were looking at your artifacts. What would it say about who you are and how you are? What would it mean about the legacy you left behind? Would they say that you were a hoarder? Would they say that you were, someone that read a lot of books, because I have a lot of books around my space. Would they assume that you were a loner because there are no pictures of you in relationship or in connection with other people? What would they say? So the ingredients for legacy building are the people that you surround yourself with, not only your clan, because some people, their chosen family or the people that they spend the most time with are not their family. They choose people by virtue of them understanding and knowing that maybe the family of origin is not the healthiest. And then the places, like the places that you frequent, and it's about world travel too, like where you go. Like, will they say that, oh my God, they find a bunch of ticket stubs and different spaces in your home that are a demonstration of you traveling to different places, having different experiences? Would they go in your kitchen and see all kinds of recipes and pots and pans? If they went in my kitchen, they'd be like, this chick did not cook. She did not care about that. That's just not my thing. So what places have you been or do you go that demonstrate what legacy you're building by design or by default? One of the places is maybe in the seat of a therapist, in the therapy space, to see a therapist to unpack your issues, because you want to activate your legacy and you want to be well and you want to be healthy and whole. So what are those places? And then the things that you possess, the things that you tap into. If they came into my home, they will see all of these different, like at least 3 spaces where sacred space has been generated. I have an ancestral altar, I have an altar just for meditation and alignment, and I have an altar just to create an energy in a space. They would find incense in my home, and sage in my home, and Florida water in my home, and candles in my home, and crystals in my home. What things would they find in your space that would be a demonstration of the legacy that you're creating? These are the main ingredients. So drop it in the chat, family, the people you hang with. And this is about rigorous honesty, just owning where you're at. Maybe you're being around people who don't necessarily mean you any good or don't steer you in a direction that is going to align with your desire to address your addiction. Maybe you go out with people and you're trying to stop drinking as much, and you hang with people who get turned up, or family members that, maybe today in Thanksgiving, you're going to go to someone's home and they're going to be throwing them back, and you're trying to stay clean and sober. So it's just not a healthy place for you to be. Or, going into places and spaces, we've got people in places. So going into a home where that may be happening, around people who don't have that same level of alignment with healthy living and alignment with what it means to be operating from your whole powerful and authentic and grounded self. So let's see what is in the chat. And then I'll wait for you to hear from all of you, from the leaders.
All righty, I see. Where am I? All right, pots and pans in the kitchen. And that's from Laura Clark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at books on self-development, health, cooking, mind science, finances, herbs from Laura Clark. Showing up in unhealthy places is not my go-to anymore from Sweetness. Visiting my family got me from Cassie.
What does that mean?
Well, she has some scary faces on here, so that must not be a pleasant experience.
You want to bring Cassie on to speak about it?
Cassie?
Sure.
Peace and blessings, village. Yes, I did share that. She said it so proper and sweet. I love my sister. Oh, I can't show my video.
Why, Cassie? Don't be ridiculous.
Huh?
This is family. If you got the bonnet on, just wear the damn
Lord.
bonnet.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even about what you look like,
Okay. Oh, Lord. I only do this for you, Shawnee.
Thank you.
Well, I'm headed up the mountain to see my family. My family is quite interesting. They crazy, but I love them. I'm laughing, but I've been intentional about my healing journey, but my family ain't there yet. So I guess I just keep quiet. I got some Medeas and everybody in my family. I'm open to some advice because Lord have mercy. Okay, I'm complete.
Wait, don't be running off now.
Oh Lord.
You know, so once again, context is decisive. And so, you know, like my family crazy, you were in that family. You're part of that clan. So what are you saying about you? And
I'm crazy too.
and once again, you know, the low vibrational pieces, you know, I talk about this in Be the Tree. I celebrate what we've created so that we can circumvent our trauma. Some folks drink so that they don't have to deal with the huge traumatic experiences that they've had over the course of their lives. Some folks laugh and tell jokes to circumvent some of the things that they just can't look at and refuse to see because it's just too damn painful. Some hoard because they're like, you know, I need to insulate, like I said, myself against the unpredictability and the scariness of the outside world. And so our defense mechanisms are built so that we don't have to experience the trauma. What's not workable about them is when we keep them going and flowing when we're grown enough to make different choices. Your little girl self did what she had to do, and so did your family's little girl, little boy selves, or little person selves. We don't want to, you know, engender them in that way, like everybody. And shoot, that's part of legacy too. Like, you know, family members not being able to express that I am a transgender person, or I'm a lover of I'm a woman that loves other women, or I'm, you know, gender nonconforming. Like I love both. Like not being able to express those things can create extreme trauma and act out behavior. So when you think about who your family truly is, because they're not the sum total of those low vibrational experiences or things that they do, what's the true nature of your family? What's their true legacy when you remove all of the distraction?
Yeah, there is positive too. Everybody think my family entertaining, but there is positive. Academics, education, arts, crafts, very artistic. You know, my great grandmother went to nursing school. You know, in that time, that was like, wow, as well as her sister, they were nurses. So there is a lot of high vibration.
Yes.
But as I travel up the mountain, I'm trying to learn tools. See, I'm trying to use the Be the Tree words and I can't think of it. How I'm gonna deal with all that crazy shit. That's what I'm trying to say. I just cursed. I'm still sleepy, Shawnee.
Girl, I'll be cursing right after you, so no worries. And I'm wide awake, so it has nothing to do with being sleepy.
Well, no, I have some, you know, some family, some of my siblings, you know, the alcohol and drugs, and you know, there's part of a mourning process too, because I have starting to grow through that, but then going back to revisit it. And I haven't been home in a while. The addiction and drug addiction, especially for someone that you love so much, and then be confronted with it face to face.
Yes.
So yes, so I am complete.
Yeah, thank you. So you asked a question, and before I share for the entire community, not just you, Cassie, we're going on 8 o'clock, right? And, you know, some folks do go to work on Thanksgiving. So I'm not going to make the assumption that somebody doesn't have to transition off because of work. But there are others who may need to get back to preparing for their family. Like I reached out to my auntie, I'm going to her house this evening. And she was like, I was like, come on, auntie, I'm talking about legacy and our family and stuff like that. And she was like, she's preparing the way for our family to come. Like she sets up a whole thing, and I know her house is going to be decked out when I get there. So she's doing what she does. And that's part of her personal legacy, to create these moments and this magic. And my family on that side is just like that. Part of our legacy is that we create spaces for people to transform, to think about different things in their lives. So I'm just going to acknowledge that if you have to transition off because you're doing whatever you need to do for the holiday, or you have to transition off because you have to go to work or go pick somebody up or drop somebody off, or you're going into the car so you can travel for Thanksgiving, I just want to thank you for being here. I want to acknowledge you for being a part of this conversation. If you are new to this conversation, because I see so many names, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing this day with us and unpacking this conversation about legacy. Thank you for pouring into your personal legacy on a high vibrational level by being in a conversation about it and bringing it to your consciousness so that you can choose how you will be with your family. Cassie was just talking about going up the mountain. And I'm like, literally operate, Cassie, like you're ascending. You're going up the mountain and you're going to be with family members that operate low vibrationally, but you're going to bring love. You always speak about in your work as a doula, you know, just how you need to nurture and care for folks and make sure that birthing people get what they need while they're pregnant and then after they give birth. Bring the spirit of doulaship to your family this morning, this afternoon, this evening. See, you know, when you're working with a mother and she's resisting pushing that baby out, you don't curse her out and make her wrong. You just keep coaching her around how she can create the space for her to, or the birthing person, how they can actually adjust their bodies and their minds and their spirits so that they can bring new life into the world. Be the doula for your family today without overworking yourself. And also you can lay in the cut. You can bring your crystals because you have a bag of tools that you share all the time. You can drink your herbal tea or carry whatever your artifacts are.
I'm gonna have a lot of crystals in my bra, but I do got a question. How do you deal with Medea aunties, like aunties who act like Medea? They ain't trying to hear that, but I'm just gonna sip my tea.
I'm not asking you to even verbally say anything to your auntie or your uncle or your cousin or your brother. I'm saying being the spirit of doula doesn't mean you have to fix anything or change anything. It's just how to hold space. When you're holding space for a baby to come, you're not always talking. You might be rubbing a back or, you know, just praying or bringing the energy and the spirit of a gateway opening up. So you know how to do that masterfully. You just make up that it doesn't apply for your clan, and it does. So I just wanted to put that out there. And thank you. Love you so much.
And I have your phone number too. I love you so much.
Don't be calling me. I'm off today after this. All right. Woo. Family, y'all are just cooking with grease. All right, I want to make a statement. We're going to do an activity too as a community. I want to make sure that I honor what Spirit gave me for today. So I just want to say that your legacy, and this was dropped in the chat earlier, your legacy is really about life and living. It's about going to Thanksgiving up the mountain and just accepting that Aunt Medea or Grandma Medea is going to be there and she's going to say what she says or do what she does. And I don't have to take it as a personal affront. I can be like, oh, I understand that. Oh, I get that. And release judgment and just be. Because somebody's saying, oh, here come Cassie with them crystals. Oh, somebody's saying, oh, here she come preaching and teaching. And not just Cassie, but whoever is in the space. Here she come judging. You know, so you are on the receiving end of somebody's low vibrational judgment about you and how you show up. So just keep that in mind. So the legacy, it gives you a sense of meaning when you're operating from your legacy and you're present to it and intentional about it. It helps you to decide the kind of life you want to live and the kind of world we want to live in, because by you showing up and being a high vibrational aspect of your legacy, you're adding value to the world and high vibrational energy that gets perpetuated and just it can become viral. Legacy can be created in many ways through traditions, like what you're going to do today, whatever you do. Maybe your tradition is to lay in the cut and mind your business and watch marathons of Medea movies for the day. Or, you know, it shows up in your leadership roles at the job, like how you lead and how you negotiate space with others. It shows up in your artistry for the artists that are in here, how you paint, how you sing, how you crochet. It's the people that you touch, right? And that you let touch you, that it will either make or break your legacy. It's the places you go, as I said earlier, and it's the things that you do and you create by design and by intention. So admin, if there's anything that needs to be shared, I don't know if we've heard from Facebook in a while, so definitely want to bring them into the conversation. Anything?
Yeah, I haven't seen any Facebook comments dropped in here.
Right.
Chantel, I don't know if we didn't get to do that. There's a lot of comments. I'm not sure where you want me to start with this.
It's wherever you're led. Just jump in the middle and see where it takes you.
All righty. Well, I'm in the middle.
All right.
Martine, she says, people, sit with and talk to anybody, too many friends, lover of people, helpful and giving places, love to travel abroad, always moving from place to place, always willing to come to you even when it's even when it inconveniences or hurts me. Things, big purses, writing material, art, unique furniture and jewelry, gadgets upon gadgets, junk drawers, too much stuff, messy. Nigel says, if not for the excuse of COVID ain't really gone, I'd be gathered with family that does eat the way I do, so I'd have to eat before going. That doesn't eat the way I do.
Got it.
So I have to eat before going and bring food that I eat and risk ridicule. And in order not to get into it, I would attempt to steer certain conversations to acceptable and agreed upon topics.
Yeah, let me let me jump in here and just offering this up as something to consider. When I first shifted my diet and released most meat, like I eat flesh in the form of fish, so I'm a pescatarian. But before I did that, I would bring my judgment about how other people were eating into the space. And so I just want to offer up that when we're really grounded in our legacies, when it's really high vibrational, there's no judgment about how other people are creating theirs, right? The only thing that was challenging though, and it shifted, trying to think, not on both sides of my family, but my father's side of the family in particular, is that before I used to go to Thanksgiving and there was really nothing for me to eat. But y'all help me out. I don't know if it's starches. Is it starch that it's just potato salad, macaroni and cheese, potatoes? Like I would just be able to put the starch on my plate and rice because there was really nothing more for me to eat. Like the vegetables would be cooked with meat. That has transformed. Like our entire family has shifted how we negotiate space and food for a variety of different reasons. But I used to go to different spaces and not be able to eat food, me and my daughter Jasmine, and we would be like in a space of like upset about it. But it's like I changed my way of living and negotiating. They didn't join me on that journey. So judgment, there was no place for that. And once again, bringing your own food is an option, because I'm not a person that cooks and stuff like that. So it's just like, you want to complain or you want to do something about it. And then the other piece is like acceptable conversations. It's like I've had to learn and watch myself with this meaning making and judgment machine that is on top of my neck about how people speak and how they operate and negotiate space. I catch myself and I shift it because there was a time when I spoke and did things in ways that people would side eye and wonder about. So I have to bring compassion, or I choose to bring compassion around that. People are creating their personal and familial legacies every day, and so am I. And some people are going in the direction of low vibration, and it's all information, it's all process, it's all part of this journey called life and our choosing. So I just wanted to offer that up, that we that we go in the opposite direction with our legacy building when judgment is in the mix and in the midst. Anything else, Kenyofu?
That's a rhetorical question, right?
No, I'm dead serious.
Well, no, there's a whole bunch.
All right.
Lori, she says, my job has me interacting with a lot of angry, scared people. It can crawl under your skin. I have to hang out with other healers and positive people to balance myself. I spend a lot of energy to share high vibration with the people at work. My family is my respite because they share love generously.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm thinking about my own legacy and my purpose. And part of it is to go in the trenches, to go into the dark spaces. Like, how are you a healer when you're unwilling to look at things that are associated with dis-ease? How are you a change maker and an igniter of transformation if you're unwilling to be in the space where transformation is not present? Right. So in order for me to operate and live out of my legacy full out and be my birthright, it requires that I go into the trenches with folks. And I accept that. It's like how I choose to be and how long I choose to stay and what I choose to do after I come out to release is another story. But it requires me to go in and to negotiate those spaces. And you must have a space of respite when you do have a legacy that requires that you do that and go there. So thank you for your share, Lori. So we have Catherine's hand up. So if you can share for a little bit, and then I'm going to do an activity with the community.
Is it the Catherine Sweetness?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for sharing everything. So I'm getting ready to have a weep in regards to, I was expecting, Shawnee, Shawnee and community, I was expecting the love that the family said that they had for me would expand to them making sure that there was something for me to eat, when I got there, if they invited me. And so that brought a degree and a measure of sadness and resentment is what I want to say to the family. So I think today, I believe, from what you were saying, Shawnee, I've gotten a release about the judgment that I take with me when I go. And I'm not going today because the level of compassion that I need or that I think I don't have, it would need to come with me. And so I'm choosing not to go. And so I'm wrestling with, you say you love me, and I think that love should encompass, each of us making a way for who we are. We're different, people. So that's where I'm at with showing up in places where people are doing things that I've chosen not to do, but I didn't keep it a secret that I've chosen not to do it. So where is the love that you say you have for me? So I feel, and I know that this is one of the reasons for WOO is to get woke and stay woke. So I feel that there was a release that happened when you talked about being responsible or acknowledging the energy and the judgment that you take when you go to the family. So for right now, the family is not part of my healing. My immediate family is not part of the healing that's happening with me right now. So I wanted to share that.
Yeah. I acknowledge you for this share. And I want to just declare that there's a payoff to, and I get that you got the breakthrough. There's a payoff to not communicating your desires and your needs to folks and then making them wrong when they don't deliver. It doesn't allow for us to be accountable for not communicating, not being clear, and then creating what, oh my God, this brother who I love dearly taught me about 10 years ago. He said, sometimes we can be manufacturers of our own misery. And then we make up that other people are conjuring it up in the factory when it's really all of our hands in all of the positions creating the miserable life or the miserable context. So context is key and it's decisive. So how you see it, what you see and how you look through the lens will determine what you do and what you don't do. So I don't with my family, didn't ask for my auntie, my uncle years ago to make fish for me. Can you make fish? I'll purchase it. You can make it because I told y'all that's not my thing. Or can y'all make a side dish of collard greens without the meat? Or just asking for it instead of going to the family dinners and be like, they know I don't eat this. They don't love me. They don't care about me, and being resentful while I'm chewing on my potato salad and eating my rice and eating the potatoes begrudgingly, eating with an angry throat and creating an angry belly and gut. That's on me, and then really looking at where you created long ago that nobody loves me and connecting love with the actions people take, even though you don't communicate it, and then operating like that's a real thing and a way of life. It's a false paradigm. It's an unreality. But when you operate like it is a reality, you will be tearful, upset, and making up that there's no love there because they don't do this, that, or the other. If anybody makes up about me, she didn't set the way for me to arrive. I'm not the host. I'm a great host here, but if you come to my house, you are on your MFing own. That's just who I am. I know when I go to Sahu's Sweet Space, she's going to have soup for me. She's going to make sure she takes care of me, ask me about tea. That is not me. So if you're looking for love in that way from me, you will always make up that Shawnee doesn't love you. And it's not true. I love my people to the bone. That's just not the way I express it. So I just wanted to put that out there. That's not just for K-Sweetness, that's also for any community member. And keep the tears flowing and going in the service of your transformation of those paradigms. Okay, because they don't serve you. It depletes you and wears you out to be crying over something that you can choose to operate differently from, because it just doesn't align with your bigger truth, which you're a space of love, you're a space of generosity, you're a space of words as being the conduit for transformation. So when you're wasting time on making up stories about whether people love you or not, based on the food they create or they don't create, it takes away from the legacy that you're building inside of all that energy that I just shared earlier. So Sahu Speed, you wanted to share?
Yes. Great day, family. Shawnee, is such a beautiful topic. Thank you, Sweetness. I just wanted to share about that. Giving thanks. And this conversation is just so beautiful. So yes, I'm getting ready to go to my family, right? I am taking, okay, let me just say the first thing. For me, I accept the challenge of my ability to keep growing who I am and keep bringing who I am wherever I go. So Sweetness and everyone, if you bring who you are, you know, if you are generosity, because you're generosity to me, right? You became my friend from woo. You made me your friend kind of thing. I'm like, okay, I'll be your friend. Okay. You actually made me your friend, Sweetness. And it's like, so now we're friends. And we spoke about this yesterday. You didn't say, South Speak, don't do this and don't do this and don't do that. You came and gave me who you are. If you imagine you going to your family and you coming there being the greatest that you can be, and the family opening up saying, wow, this is so beautiful. So your family is inviting you to your family's opening the door, you're closing it. If you choose to keep it open and you come and you bring the greatest part of who you are with no expectations of them, because only person knows you is you, really. Only person that knows how to grow you is really you. And you can do it because you really have no choice but to bring yourself, but bring your highest self that you can bring, which is your choice. The other thing I want to say is today, I know I'm going to my family in terms of the legacy, the places and things. The COVID piece is very present. I was in a car with my sister coming from Brooklyn last week, and she was saying things about COVID. If everybody would just do it, then we could all just live this whole thing over. And I was driving, I was in her car, and I just looked at her and I said, listen, because I'm driving, I'm not going to say much. But when I see you next, I'm going to have some other information for you that is not shown on the public so that you can kind of have it. When we finish this conversation, before I go see my family, I'm going to my computer, I'm printing out other articles because I'm personal with a particular doctor that's international, and I know what is not being said. And I'm going to print those things out. It's going to come up in terms of COVID. If it doesn't come up, if it doesn't come up, I'm going to take the articles back home with me. If it comes up and people go back and forth about this to create that scene, I'm going to have my articles with me. And I'm going to say to my family, because I already rehearsed it, you can read these things for yourself. You can read these things for yourself if you choose to, so that we can hear all sides. And if not, I'm not going to allow the conversation to be one way. I'm not going to allow it. If it's going to be one way, we're going to close it down. I'm going to close it down. If they're open to both people listening, then I'm going to do it. Otherwise, we're going to have a good time and be crazy and laugh and loud and all that stuff that we do. Because I got a crazy family. So, and that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to bring my higher self, my best, because that's one of my stands for myself. Absolutely. To bring it and to show it, because they look at me like, wow, because I know how they look at me, right? And I'm accepting that and I'm expanding on that in terms of this stage of who I am as a wisdom keeper at this point in my life. And so I hope everyone got something out of that, and Sweetness, you too, and you, and you, and you, and you, everybody. And I'm complete. Yeah.
I'm over here. I'm going to come to you, Robin. I'm over here really sitting with your share, Sweetness, and which Sahu Speed said about you made me your friend. It's so deep, sis. And I know that you can hold this and the community can hold this. This is just who we are. And for the visitors today, for our guests, keep coming back so you can be part of the extended family. So we got guests in the house and I'm going to speak about our family issues, right? So when I think about you and Wake Up Sweetness, and I think about how you negotiate relationships, I want to offer up that sometimes that you have two things going on. Somebody asked about this earlier, about the legacy being high vibrational and low vibrational at the same time. So there's an energy of force that is brought to friendships, right? There's an energy of force because you have a low vibrational story going on about people, about needing to be loved and how you want to be loved. And so you push it and create it in spaces. And I would love for you to be in a space of waiting for someone to initiate the dynamic so that you don't have to make up that people are not responsive or they don't love me or they don't care about me. It's a very young version of yourself. And I would imagine it's single digits old, you know, and so what would happen if you were being an open space for love, just being it, not by doing anything, but just being that, and what you would attract? Because for whatever reason, maybe for today, I've heard your name come up many times by different people about the relationship and the negotiation. And I'm like, there is a hunger for love and connection that is ravenous sometimes as it relates to you. And I'm like, I don't know who denied it, who didn't allow that, what was part of the family legacy or the legacy and that has been created that was low vibrational that generated that. But I'm like, how about just dancing in the love and allowing it to land without having to do anything or be anything other than the space of love? So I just wanted to offer that up, just based on what Sahu Speed said. It just made me think about it. And for others in this space that operate from a space that, because I did a session a long time ago about why we give, you know, and it was talked about again. Who just did a session? Oh, it's Mika. She did a session on that was similar. And boy, the reasons why we give, it could be beautiful and it could be part of our legacies, like why we're here on the planet to create and generate love in that way. And it can go left, very low vibrational. We sometimes have transactional relationships. Like, I gave to you, why don't they give back? I wrote them a note, they didn't say anything back. I called them, why didn't they call back? I gave this gift for Christmas, why didn't they give back? Like when we have those types of dynamics, which are very patriarchal and white, it kills off true relationship and groundedness and love. And so I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, Robin, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Asked me to stop my video. I know we started really, really early, but I'm sitting on the terrace. I'm standing on the terrace right now, and I am in Georgia, and I'm at my oldest child's house right now, and I have to be outside to have this conversation. I choose to be outside to have this conversation. Okay. It wasn't on for the whole thing, but I do want to say this about cycle breaking, and I am the master cycle breaker. There are times when silence is best, and there are times when being who I am requires me to just observe. Because as you said earlier, Shawnee, I am a part of my family dynamic, which means that it means that everything that I may have judged or everything that I'm thinking, all of the cycles that I'm breaking are in me first. I didn't just become a cycle breaker out the clear blue sky because I thought it was a cute title. I became a cycle breaker because there were things that spirit was moving me towards, areas in my life not to fix, but to heal my own life. That I'm one of those kumbaya people. So if I find something new, I want to like tell you about it. And I want you to do it too. And I want you to do this work. And I can show you. Everybody ain't open to that. And so just in being real, the first new thing for us on this Thanksgiving is the pandemic. The second new thing in this pandemic is my children being adults right now, and one of them living here in a new state. So that separated the family. We always get together, no matter what. No matter where, no matter what, we always getting together at somebody's house. The question is, so who's having Thanksgiving? So who's having Christmas? And this year we're we're separated by choice, but we wanted to come here so that we can be with the oldest and make sure that she was able to be with family for Thanksgiving. And when Spirit talks and when Spirit gives direction, insight, and information for me, because I'm learning to listen, I am learning to also, it's a new way of being that I've not yet mastered. So let me say that. So there's been two and a possible jump offs that could have went left real fast if I would have been who I was. And in being who I am now, I could spot it quicker. So I can feel the information or the energy rising quicker when it's going to be an explosion. And I hope that I am making sense, because I can't see faces or anything because I'm on a phone. But the point that I'm trying to make is it's great. This call, this topic on this day for this season is amazing.
Yeah. And
everyone, the person who was speaking is like, how do I talk to my aunties? You don't talk to your aunties. You don't. Leave your aunties alone, because they're gonna wrap you up real fast and chin check you. If that's who they are, that's what they're gonna do. And I'm saying that because I'm a chin checker, number one, but in moving into my new space, I learned how to be a chin checker because I got chin checked. Whether it was right, wrong, good, bad, whatever. Everybody has opinions. And one of the cycles that I am absolutely recognizing in my family, I think I told you all before in another call, is competing and comparing. Yeah. That's one. But the other thing is not honoring somebody else's feelings or opinions. So I'm learning to stay in my lane, and that has a whole new meaning for me, staying in my lane, because I can observe and I don't have to say a word, or I can observe and I can step in and be the cycle breaker. But I have to discern when to do what and who to be at each time. Right. So I'm open for feedback from you, Shawnee, if you have it, but that is the share that I want to offer today. Yes, we could be as awake and as healed and transformed as we want to be, and the cycles are cycles because they continuously happen to give us the opportunity to evolve and move to new levels of healing and consciousness. Okay. And I'm complete.
Thank you. Stay on, because I want you to see something. You can see your face. You can see your face inside of your phone.
Can I see I do, and I don't love it, but yeah, I do. I didn't see a bunch of.
I am not talking about that.
Yeah, I don't love what I'm seeing.
Keep the camera right where you have it. Like move over to the left a little bit. So you see that number on the move back over.
The 12.
Yes. And why is that significant for you?
Because that's that's deep. That's my birth year, my birthday, my birth month. Yeah. And it's also my great grandmother's same birth month and birthday. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm glad you mentioned her.
Oh, let me add this piece, because I also came here to build my daughter's ancestral. Awesome. Oh, she has an ancestral stick, a staff, and I came to build her altar for her in the house. So there is spiritual work going to be done.
Yeah.
And I want to also say that my family accepts that I am a priestess, a healer, and an energy shifter, but that's also the same trigger.
Yeah, indeed. So as I was listening to you share and I saw the 12 behind, I'm like, Spirit, go ahead with your bad self. And I didn't remember that your grandmother's birthday was the same day. Great grandmother. So, just the chin check there, right? So just inviting you to, because I know you've done this study, but just to align yourself with this energy of 12, because, that has its own flavor and energy and numerology, like all four of those numbers, what they add up to. The 12 adds up to 3, like really honing in on that. And for anybody else who this is for, so that you can govern yourself while you're away and in this space with them. The 12 has all you need. You don't need coaching from me other than me just offering up that I'm looking at this over your shoulder and recognizing that there's a message right there. And I'm just a conduit. today.
It's about expression. The 3 is about expression.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, so that aligns a lot. Thank you for that, sis, because it's when and where, when and how, when and if I should be expressing myself.
Woo! Yeah, and I want to emphasize that there are people in this chat, like we have a community, we're family here for the visitors and the guests. I pray y'all will come back, like I said, but we have a way of cranking out the comments. And I'm like, yo, can we slow down? Yeah. Because sometimes like when somebody is in their emotions, we're like, oh, we got you, we coming. I'm like, slow down. Let them be with that shit.
Sure.
Like, you know, rather I'm with you and just chill. You said it earlier. Sometimes it's just about silently holding space and not giving feedback. Medea says what she says, Cassie, and you're just like there, not even judging it, but just being with it. It's like it's flying by you, or you're taking it in. Because sometimes in the ratchet messiness is a word. I'm gonna say this again.
Most times.
Sometimes in the ratchetness and the messiness, there's a word for you, but you can't hear it or see it because you have a story that this person can't tell you shit because they're Medea and they're ratchet. Like I've got my best words of wisdom riding the train with people that the world calls bums. My best wisdom through people who are just like rattling it off. I'm like, whoa. And spirit just drops it in because I need that chin check sometimes with the smell of it all and the energy of it all. Sometimes I need the message delivered in a jacked up box.
I love that. Yeah.
Wait, Robin, wait a minute. I gotta let you, I'm leaving you out. I'm like going to take you off the stage because you and I will go back and forth, and there's somebody else that wants to share that's been holding on. Say your last
can I just say this one piece about Mr. Brown, because you talk about Medea.
Okay.
Do not discard and disregard Mr. Brown either, because there's going to be somebody who's loud, who acts crazy, who sound like they're not making no sense at all. And like you said, yeah, that too is where the wisdom is. We can't disregard anybody. Everybody matters.
Amen.
I'm complete.
All right, love you so much. Work your 12
Love you too.
Awesome.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving to those who honor it. All right, so I was told that Sister Danette had her hand up and wanted to share. I'm gonna get on you because I was like, the hand was taken down, so I thought we moved on. You know, the admin is like, oh, call on her, she needs to speak. I'm like, hold your ground. Remember what we talked about yesterday, sis. So come on in so we can talk and we can hear from you. And family, I'm gonna go like 15 more minutes and then we'll be complete. And y'all will go on and do what you do to be fruitful and multiply. All right, your share, my love.
Yes, thank you so much for doing this. I have a question, and it's something that I'm struggling with for years. And that's just around, like, it was great to think about the low vibration and the high vibration for our legacy. Like, this is everything, you know? And in terms of like, when you have like low vibration where it's like, you know, you're doing the work, you're doing this, you're doing that, right? But then the high vibration, well, I guess that's the high vibration, but then the low vibration is, you know, fear, right? And that's, I know, low energy. But I think the one thing my folks could always agree on was that, you know, it's always something, which is, you know, that's life, right? But don't, you know, if you're like trying to create something and then it happens, expect something bad to happen. So I feel like, you know, for every 2 steps that I may be taking towards creating the legacy that I want to live, there's still stuff which I know has to do with, like, you know, post-traumatic slaves and being enslaved. I know all of it has to do with that directly, like, you know, people, you know, doing what they do, singing, all of a sudden, you know, you can't be too happy, you get snatched up, you know? And that was definitely mimicked in my childhood. And so I just wanted to hear anything that you say in terms of when the, you know, self-sabotage, but more so when the negative or when the lower vibration directly is interfering with staying consistent with creating a high vibration.
Yeah. The first thing that comes up for me inside of that share is that there are certain things that I know I will never, ever fully transform, even though I do transformational work. And so what if you actually accepted that there will be thoughts that will come in that'll be like, you know, you got to watch your back. Like, well, you know, some shit's going to happen. Like, you know, that happens. You're like, thank you for showing up. Like my little girl, that scared pops up all the time. And I'm like, all right, boo. I acknowledge her. I try not to make her wrong. Sometimes I do, or sometimes I rock with her. I'm like, you're right. And I start like clutching my pearls and getting scared. I'm like, yes, it's dangerous here, you know, but I don't stay in it as long. So acknowledging your growth, that you're not like you used to be, that, you know, what's the thing you said at the beginning? That's life. And you said something before that was like, oh goodness. You said that's life, but before that, you said something else that was in the same realm.
It's always something.
There's always something. There's always something. What if you operated from there's always going to be something coming in trying to take me off, and I acknowledge that, meaning the thoughts and all that other stuff, and acknowledge that as information, and acknowledge that almost like bringing levity to it, like there that goes, and then reframing how you negotiate it, not judging yourself about it, expecting that that information is going to come in and just mushing it in the face, or just kissing it and letting it like glide away. Like you may never transform that indoctrination, but you can own that it's there and not let it run the show. So I'm like, do you have an attachment to it going away? Because I'm like, I did to certain things in my life. And I'm like, it's got to go away. It doesn't work. And then I'm like, oh, it's going to be here. And it probably will be here until I die, but the volume on it is much lower. And I counter it. I look at my life and I'm like, yeah, that's there. But what's much louder and bigger is this other stuff, these other core values, love, partnership, community, creativity. And this little one that's like lack isn't as powerful as it used to be when I was 12 or when I was 22 or when I was 35. It's just not. And I acknowledge that, and I'm grateful for that. So your thoughts about that, Danette?
No, I love it. It's a bigger perspective, and it kind of reminds me of that movie, A Beautiful Mind.
Yes.
And it's just like, you know, they was walking with him, but he could still just figure out how to do what he needed to do. So
Yes. Yes, amen. And I love that they put that out there in the movie, that the medication didn't transform it and take the voices away. He just learned how to quiet them so his voice could be the louder voice, because his mind was beautiful. And I want to say that those other voices were part of the beautiful mind. Like that was too, like my family's wiring on my mother's side, there's a pattern of bipolar, they call it disorder of orientation, neurodivergence inside of my family in that way. And that's what also makes us powerful creatives and highly intuitive. So who am I to be like, that's wrong, that's wrong? You know, it's part of the family dynamic, and we're going to rock this till the wheels fall off. So thank you for your share. You complete? Because I don't want to, shift if you're not.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
All right, my love. Thank you so much. So we're going to do something really quickly, family. I can't leave here without doing two things. And so I want to offer up an exercise that we can do, and pick a number between 1 and 5 and drop it in the chat, please. One and 5. We're going to take this into our Thanksgiving along with one more thing to close out. And y'all have been phenomenal. Y'all manifested 50 plus people in this space. And then also however many, and Coach Cheryl or Chantel, because I think Chantel and maybe you can tell me how many people in Facebook. Love it. Y'all keep dropping them in. Number between 1 and 5, no 6, no 7, no 10, no 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to ask the admin to drop in these legacy footprint statements, or the criteria that demonstrates legacy, like the components of it. I said some of this earlier, we're just going deeper. And I'll start. So if you got number 1, as part of this legacy building piece, like if folks looked at the environment, its habitat and ecosystem that you're in, that you've created, the habitat, your environment. Like I'm here in my living room. What does the environment that you're currently living in communicate about you and your legacy? It could be the neighborhood you live in. You know, it can be the apartment, the house, the layout, how much stuff you have in there, like what you value. So if you got habitat, ecosystem, answer that question. And then number 2 is the artifacts, the things that you have around you. What do or will the items that you possess right now, like look around you, what do they communicate about your values and your beliefs as far as legacy? Like if I looked at your stuff, there are folks who, you know, have a closet full of cold clothes, minks, all this other stuff, and they might live, and I'm not judging this, but they might live in a housing development, like public housing, but they have all of these fancy items. And so their artifacts are a demonstration that there's materialism. So artifacts, that's number 2, if you pick 2. Number 3, the partners that you have in your life. So what do the people that you spend the most time with say about your worldview and your legacy? You know, maybe you're hanging around people who are just, they keep gossip going on, or they're angry all the time, or they're very materialistic, like I spoke about earlier, or they say low vibrational things to you all the time, but you still rock with them, or they're unpredictable. You know, or the high vibration, you know, they're edifying. I have a lot of dope people in my life that pour into me every day, send me text messages and love all the time, and call me and look out and partner with me on many things. What's your partnership like as far as your legacy manifestation? And number 4, if you got it, the witnesses. So when you think about how you speak, move, and create in the world, what impression do others have of you? Is there continuity in the way that you speak and show up? Or would they get the impression that you are someone who quits things before you complete? Or do they get the impression that you're angry, or you're petty, or you harbor anger and resentment, or you do, like Robin talked about earlier, compete, compare, and I always say despair? What are the witnesses seeing? They may not be close to you, but they're watching you on social media and, Facebook, Instagram. They're watching when you come out to pick up your mail on your curb, and they, maybe you don't say good morning. Like, what are the witnesses experiencing of you? And what impression is that leaving as far as your legacy and what you're leaving behind? And then finally, 5, this is a different orientation, but it aligns with legacy building. What will be the lifespan of your legacy, but beyond your physical living? After you pass away, how long will your legacy last? Will it last in perpetuity? Is it a legacy that will carry generations forward? Or will it survive beyond you and your fleshly body? That's a question to answer. Have you left enough? Is there a succession plan? I know I don't have that for Spirit of a Woman yet for my business, but I'm working on it. Will Wake Up live beyond me? I pray so, because it's a collective experience. So what about your legacy? Is there a lifespan? Does it have sustainability and longevity after you pass on? All right, so I want to hear from a couple of you, and then we're going to close out with a story. All right, so Coach Keofa, you can select anybody, or if anybody wants to raise their hand and share which one they got and what it means for them.
Okay.
Somebody we haven't heard from too.
Right. Afriye, can you share with us? Afriye.
And then, there we got.
Kasia.
Yeah, I'm not going to butcher the name. Tell us how to pronounce your name, beloved. I love the look of it. Kasia. Kasia?
It's Kasia.
Oh my God, we were both off. Kasia.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Good morning. Happy New Day, family.
Hi.
Casey Mapp is actually my mentor, so she texted me this morning and told me to get on. So it's been wonderful. And speaking of legacy, I have my little sister in the car now. Both my mom and my grandmother were both listening as well for a good piece of it. So I chose number 5. And it's just really making me think about really that like long lasting impact, that sustainability. Like what's the impact that my joy and my healing and my love like what does that have on people? And like just being aware that like I've seen the little shifts in people's lives, like just by showing up and smiling at them. But then how does that carry forward, and how can I be more intentional carrying that forward? Not just through, again, myself, but through my family, through my sister, through my trading team. So I don't know, I'm just excited to have that question and to ponder on it more so that I can create more sustainability, and being more intentional about creating that sustainability and that longevity. So thank you.
Ashe. Just want to ask you really quickly, sis, who are the youngins in the family that your thought about this and how to create sustainability, that it will have an impact on their children's children? Like, name some of them, because y'all are heading somewhere to celebrate with family, or no?
Yeah, we just landed. Actually, we're in Atlanta, Georgia right now.
Oh,
We came from Asheville, North Carolina.
Mhm.
So reiterate the question for me. Ask it
All
again.
right. Just share 3 names of the youngins that once you do this intentional work around creating sustainability, longevity, their children's children are going to be impacted by what you left behind. So just share some names.
Ashe. Amadi, Ayo, and Gabby.
All right. So that intentionality is going to impact those 3 youngins, and you won't be around for it. And this is like moving me in my body. I like feel tears coming. You won't be around for it, but they will have the remnants of the life that you lived. What a magnificent offering and tribute to them. And so I encourage you to do exactly what you gave your word to do, which is to start to be intentional about that. Maybe it's the stories you share, and what you impart to them as far as your life experience that they'll tell others. You know, I don't know what that is, but I know that you're going to do it. And touch ground in Atlanta for me, because that's where my family is from on my mother's side. So some of my family is there. So I love that you're there and that you're sharing some of that Atlanta energy with me today and us. So thank you so much.
Thank y'all. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Ashe, yes. And hi, family. Have fun in Atlanta. All right. So one more, Kinyofu. Oh, Afriye unmuted, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Greetings, everyone. What was my question, Shawnee?
Whatever number you picked is the focus and the question you will answer.
Okay, so my number was 1.
Ah, okay, awesome. So we want to share about number 1, the selection of the habitat, the ecosystem, the environment that you're living in, and what it says about your legacy. Like, if we came there right now, what would we think and feel about you?
Definitely, she loves her ancestors.
Ah.
Crystals, African art throughout the house. Her favorite colors are lavender and orange.
Beautiful.
And there's neatness about her, and at the same time, there is spaces where things are not neat. They're not organized. And one of the things I can say that someone would never, ever know if they was to come to my house now is that I loved company. I love company. I love throwing whatever it is. 2 people will come and I will dress up my table in lavender and gold. And yes, that right there, that just makes me glow from the tip of my toes to the top of my head.
Me too. Thank you for sharing. I'm like, yes. Because I told you that's not me. I ain't dressing up no tables. I'm like, go and sit down somewhere. That's my go and sit down and do what you're going to do, because I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So I love that you make way for that. You hold space in that way. That's so powerful. And the colors and the energy and the vibration. Love it. Love it. So y'all think about that. Just what was shared by the 2 sisters about these 2 things. Like, look at all 5 of them. Where are you at? Where are you going? What legacy are you creating? And are you being intentional about it? So Kinyofu, show this final slide. And then Kinyofu, I also would like for you to just share half the story and, not the whole thing, so that we can close out. And Chantel, I'm going to say this out loud. Like, one of our administrative team members has to leave at 9, so she won't be with us. Wait. Kinyofu, can you go back? Back. Thank you so much. All right. So every moment matters. as the slide shares, live your legacy. So this is about being a living legacy. And this is the blueprint that we're inviting you, screenshot this, asking you to declare a vision for your future. What is that declaration? What are you saying you're going to be and who you are? That's a future that you're living in right now, in the future after your death, like we were talking about with Cassia. And then establish core values at the foundation, like Sweetness was saying, is love. Is it, for me, it's transformation as a core value, and authenticity and spontaneity. Set measurable goals for your legacy, like be intentional. I'm going to purchase property by 2023 so that it can be left behind as a family property as part of our wealth building initiative. I'm going to purchase stocks. I'm going to teach the stories or share the stories about my grandmother who passed on to my grandchildren, share her name, like whatever it is, set measurable goals. Make daily deposits, meaning take action, pour into your legacy, treat it like a living, breathing thing. Remember, this is living legacy, you and your body, and then also the energy of it and the being of it. Be mindful, present. Like we were just speaking to Danette about how she lets the voices of, what's going to happen next come in and impact what she's generating and the powerful things that she's manifesting. So be mindful, be present, choose, be intentional. I'm going to do this way with these people. Don't let it be haphazard or by default. Be authentic, like grounded in it. Be consistent. Be consistent, like show up, take the action day by day, create ritual around it and habit around it and intentionality around it. Be committed, not attached. Remember, I said we're going to force love. Like, no, be committed to love, but don't force it and try to make people be something or say something or do something or make yourself even do it. Like, bring ease and grace to it. Be reflective, be introspective. It's like, how is this landing? Am I doing what I said I'm going to do? Am I actually creating the legacy of love and connection and abundance that I say that I am? And how am I doing it? And what is the impact? Be reflective. Ask others also for feedback. And the bottom one is just be. So I'm going to ask Kinyofu to share this story. It's called, The Places You Will Go. And I'm just going to have her play half of it. And I invite you to continue. We'll drop the link in the chat so that you can continue beyond this space. Because, Dr. Seuss has a lot of awesomeness to say.
Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. Congratulations! Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy who'll decide where to go. You look up and down streets, look them over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not-so-good street. And you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. It's opener there in the wide open air. Out there, things can happen and frequently do to people as brainy and footsy as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew, just go right along. You'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. You can get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on. You'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from the lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're darked. A place you could sprain both your elbow and chin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, should you turn left or right 3/4, or maybe not quite, or go around back and sneak in from behind? Simple it's not, I'm afraid you will find, for a mind maker-upper to make up his mind. You can get so confused that you'll start in to race down long wiggled roads at a breaknecking pace and grind on for miles across weirdish wild space, headed, I fear, toward a most useless place. The waiting place. For people just waiting. Waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or the waiting around for a yes or a no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting.
All righty. Thank you, Kinyofu.
I thought that was a perfect segue.
Yes. So I invite you not to keep waiting. I invite you to live your legacy on purpose every day in every way with intentionality and with fervor and vibrancy and love and anticipation and openness and unattachment. I don't even know if that's a word, without attachment. Yeah, be intentional today as you engage with your family. Be intentional and live your legacy. Remind the family of who they are and how they are by speaking light into the space. Just be all that you can be with everything that you've got. And I just want to thank you all for being with me today, for being my family. Oh, it is so amazing having this family. And for those who are here for the first time, come on back. We always need more family in the Wake Up Everybody space. So let's carry on and do what we do and be who we're going to be. Yes, and I'm complete. So special offer today, just like Monday, we offered a participant to receive a complimentary slot for the 7-day ritual that I do, or we do collectively as part of Spirit of a Woman at the end of every year. It'll be from December 26th to January 2nd. Please register today if you desire to participate. The cost is $80. However, for somebody who takes the action to email me, you'll be able to get a complimentary slot for the 7-day ritual. And only email me if you can participate with the full 7 days. And there's no like heaviness around it. You know, it's a great opportunity. Our focus is stretch. So please do email me, and I'll show you how to email me in the next slide. So here's my contact information, is my number. I'm on Facebook as Shawnee Benton Gibson, Instagram as Shawnee the Healer, and my email address is right there. So take it on. I'm going to ask the Woo community to be generous, like, because there's a lot of guests today. Let somebody who's new possibly manifest this opportunity if they are so interested in taking it. And the ritual is virtual, so it's not like you have to be anywhere, and we don't force you to do anything. It's a beautiful experience when you take it on and you design it and craft it for yourself. So let's move forward. So whoever emails me, just put stretch in the subject line, stretch, and I'll know it's you. Love offerings. So today, they declare Thanksgiving. What I invite everyone to do, and that's guests included, if you got something out of today's session, just think about what you would have paid to go to this as a live event, or to be a part of an event where this type of conversation about legacy and living was being offered up. How much would you offer up as the exchange, the reciprocal exchange for it? Put that out there. And, bless the space, bless the admins, bless the Wake Up Everybody movement by giving today. If you are a member of the community, you haven't given in a while, today is the day to release that and to create a space for movement in the form of abundance. So use Zelle or QuickPay, utilizing, once again, my email, soulleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com. If you're a Cash Apper, $ Spirit of a Woman. And here's the link. But if you type that into your Cash App, you should be able to find the organization and be able to send your love offering, and use the code, please, #465SBG. And remember, we said that's the spirit of the energy of number 6. So #465SBG, which represents Shawnee Benton Gibson. Thank you in advance for your generosity. And on Sunday, Sister Imelba Martinez is going to be sharing New Year, New You, New Home. We're going to talk about manifesting property, which is part of some of our legacies in this space. I know it's part of mine. And she's phenomenal. Her story about her family and how they manifested property is so transformational. So please do join us on Sunday. And if you're new, register and join us in the chat. And if you're new on Facebook, utilize what's in the post and click the link, and then, you know, we get to know you and connect with you so that we can build with you as community.
Thank you, Shawnee. Yeah, Shawnee noticed that there were new names. I'm noticing their new names. So we are assuming that you all get to be welcomed into the space. But we can't welcome you unless you say that you were new. So don't let us assume, just like tell us, I'm new. Drop that in the chat. Here in Zoom, drop it in the comment section in Facebook and receive your welcome. We're very excited to have you. Looking forward to seeing you again and again and again. So we have an anthology book that we are creating, and it's going to include each one of you. It can only include you if you include yourself, and that means you would need to fill out this questionnaire. The deadline was extended, so if you were like, oh my gosh, I forgot, well, you now have a chance. Second chances are great. November 30th is your new deadline or lifeline. You get to fill out the 10 questions. The 10 questions will direct you to what it is that you've experienced during your time here. Whether your time here is the 2 hours that we've been in this space or the almost 2 years that we've been here.
20 months. 20 months.
Lord have mercy. So we want to hear what you got, and you can be in the book. How about that? A published author. Oh, bit.ly. Okay, I forgot the bit.ly. I should probably say it, right? So it is bit.ly/Ruth Stories. It's also going to be dropped in a link in the chat. And we're here 5 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 8:30, and Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 7:30. So note the different times based on the days. Always Zoom live, always here on Zoom live, and also streaming live on Facebook. And if you want to receive text alerts that will wake you up in the morning to say, hey, join us, and here's a link, then you would type in your text right now, open up a fresh text, type 74121 in the telephone section, and Woo Nation in the subject, in the section, in the comment section, and press send, and you'll be in our automated message. Okay, and I'm got a message that is Dr. Kennebrew, who her name, who was that? That wasn't her name. She was using she was using another name. But thank you.
No, that was my name. That was my name.
He was using her work account for it though.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
It is Dr. Kennebrew. Yes, but it's Pam Kennebrew is my email. That's probably what you saw.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
You're the winner. So we're going to send you the information about the 7-day ritual, Pamela, okay?
All right, sure, no worries.
I'm so happy. I can't wait to work with you. Love it.
Yes. And this is not my first time, but probably.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, I've been here. Robin invited me last year. So I've been stealth.
Awesome. Which Robin? Because we have 4 Robins.
Oh, Iadeli.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay, so then you are new in a sense, because there's a lot has changed since the last time that you were here. And when I saw your name, we have a communication in the background. I saw your name and it wasn't clear what it meant. So I thought it was about you being new, when in fact you actually are. So anyway, I digress and I will continue. We have swag. We have swag, y'all. We have masks and sweatshirts and t-shirts, mugs and thermoses, and more to come. You can get yours. Go to bit.ly/Ruth Swag and represent as you walk, as you work, And so stay in touch. How do you do that? bit.ly/wake up movement. If you've never registered before, you would go here. If you registered last week, you need to register this week. Every week, register. Go to bit.ly/wake up movement. Give us your information and we will send you email with what you need to know. We have 2 Facebook pages. One Facebook page is a private page. Another Facebook page is a public page. The private page is our group, and that has our history of presentations. You can always go there and watch the playbacks. And you would need to request access. So you would type that, and then one of the admin will admit you. And then we have the public page. That's it's a fan page. The old word for fan page. You would like it, right? In order to receive the notifications. When we go live, you will get the notification there if you liked it. So go to bit.ly/Rule Nation. Do use the uppercase words in order to get to the right place and press like. We're on Instagram and YouTube, and you can also send us an email if you are have something to share with us. And lastly, every Thursday, we take a moment to invite you to be a part of the volunteer team. And so the old heads who've been here a while, you've heard me share this, and you might still be thinking, oh, I don't have anything to offer. I am here to say that's not so. Everybody has something to offer. All it takes is an email conversation to see what that is. We have lots and lots of roles, some you see, and lots that you don't. info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. If you're new, I know you have some talents that we could use, and we need you, we need you, we need you. info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. So at this point, I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to ask you all to come off of mute and to give Shawnee your love shower, which is your.
We love you. We love you,
Thank you,
Shawnee, Queen
Love
Shawnee.
you. Love you,
Everybody
Shawnee.
wrap up in that
Thank you so
flamboyant
much. We
coffee
love
cake
you.
for the
so
Thank
day.
you.
much for all
Amazing.
your
Thank you,
contributions
Alexis.
to
Thank you,
me thinking about the legacy that I
you.
want to
Thank
leave.
you. Happy
Thank you so much
Thanksgiving.
for opening up your
Shawnee,
heart.
like always.
Thanksgiving,
Thank you.
everyone.
Love you.
Shawnee,
Bye,
this is
guys.
All
for
of
your
us.
love.
Thank you.
Vision for today.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Beautiful
What up,
day.
my crew?
Thank
Oh,
you,
Everything that you are
family.
love
Thank
you.
Life
Love
on
you.
my
Love you.
legacy.
Love
reflection
you.
of
Love,
who
love,
you are,
love,
the
love.
Thank
Love.
you.
love
Have a wonderful
of
be
being
love.
connected
Thank
to
you,
my
Honey.
magnificent
Be
family.
the light. Be
Thank
be the light. Be the change you want to
you,
see in the
family.
world. Peace,
Thank
love, and
you.
namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Everybody go give.
Awesome
Go to your
today.
cash
Have a
app
great
right
day.
now.
Yes.
Go make it rain. Go to
Yes.
Thank
sell. Let's
you.
go. Go send a number.
Peace and
Even if
blessings.
it's $5, 10, 20,
Yes.
50,
Move
100.
these
Send it
legacies
all. Come
forward.
on.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Love you.
It
Veronica,
was
I love you.
awesome.
Still here?
I
Veronica?
love you all more. I love you, Shawnee.
Yes, thinking
Oh,
It was
about
hi,
you.
awesome.
Veronica.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Sending love
Thank
to
you
you,
all.
Thank you.
Veronica.
Thank you for all
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for all
Yes.
the
Love
blessings, the
y'all. Thank
prayers,
you.
everything.
Peace
Thank
and
you.
love,
Everybody have a
everybody.
Thank blessed you. Thanksgiving.
Thank
Bless,
you.
You all.
blessings,
Yes.
blessings.
Thank you.
Everybody make it rain. Make it rain for the room.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Everybody.
Love
Thank
y'all.
you. Thank you.
Peace and
Thank you.
love.
Peace and blessings.
Thank